Hi, this is Michael with Blue Oak Property Management. In this video, we're going to talk about where to advertise your rental property for rent. I want to start off with a quick story. This week I had a customer come in and he was looking for us to rent a couple of his properties. He owns about 5 properties in the college area, but he had 2 that became vacant, and he said, normally I just used to put my ads on Craigslist and my properties would always get rented, but this year it didn't happen. So times have changed, and so now I want to tell you about where you should be advertising your rental property. So first of all, let's talk about what the goal should be. The goal should be to get as much exposure for your property to avoid vacancy. Vacancy, as you know, as an investor, can be one of your largest expenses. If the property doesn't rent for a month and you're renting that for $1,800, then you just lost $1,800 worth of income. But let's talk about what we used to do in the old days and where we are now. Before the internet, it just used to be place an ad in your local newspaper and maybe put a for rent sign. And then when the internet happened, basically the main source was Craigslist. Back as few as 10 years ago, about 70% of our leads used to come from Craigslist. Now it's less than 3%. So where should we be advertising our properties? Well, we should be advertising them on trusted sites that are very rental specific. The biggest one is Zillow, but there's lots of sites out there, including HotPads, Trulia, Apartments.com, Zumper, but there's many more. There's some called Rental Beast, Rent.com. Again, if you Google search it, you can find a bunch of these companies. Some of them are paid, you have to pay for, some of them are free. Zillow, for example, offers an either or, where you can pay for the ad or you can create a free account. However, if you create a free account, then you're pushed below all the paid ads, so it won't show up necessarily at the top of anyone's search. So you want to make sure you're at least on what I would call the big 3 of those, which is Zumper, Zillow, and Apartments.com. Then we want to talk about some secondary sites. I've already talked about Craigslist. I would still post on Craigslist. It is free for you to do, so there's no harm. The reason why people don't use Craigslist like they used to is there's just basically no one monitors it, so there's a lot of scam ads out there. So that's why tenants and prospective tenants went to these other sites to look for rental properties. However, the next place that you can rent out that we get lots of leads from is Facebook Marketplace, which has basically become the new Craigslist for the generation. Obviously, you have to have a Facebook account to do this. But while you're doing that, I highly suggest that you do on those sites. As far as the paid sites, we get about 70% of our leads in all the paid sites, but then the next biggest one is Facebook Marketplace. That being said, if you do have social media accounts, again, this is just free exposure. You should post them on your personal Facebook, Instagram, all those kind of accounts. And then the third place that we're going to talk, or not the third place, but another place that we're going to talk about that's still trusted is for rent signs, especially if you're in a high traffic area. I highly recommend still doing that because it still brings a lot of exposure to your property. Then there's some rental specific sites. So when I was talking about a college property, in our market, we use a site called collegepads.com, and they syndicate directly with Chico State on their website in their off-campus housing section there. Obviously, if you have a furnished apartment, or a furnished house or apartment, there's some different places you want to advertise those, and the biggest one is Furnished Finders. Sometimes, like we have properties that are in retirement communities, and we still do the old school, like post in a common area, let them know that's going to be a rental. I hope this helps, and you can check out our other videos at our site, blueoakchico.com, under the Owner Resources tab. Thank you.